How's it going, everyone? Coming out of the PlayStation Showcase, look, I was pretty down on the event, but it seemed like one game that really did capture the interest of a lot of people was Phantom Blade Zero. Now, this is a game that I am also incredibly skeptical of. Whenever a game that is coming from a relatively unknown indie developer from China, it's a little bit of a cause for concern. You see cool trailers, and then those games sometimes take a long time to come out. Sometimes you don't even know if they're ever gonna come out. I don't want to bring Lost Soul Aside back into this, but Lost Soul Aside, how long have we been talking about that game? Nevertheless, every game should be judged on its own merit, and Phantom Blade Zero has just gotten a brand new Q&A with the devs saying that there are a lot of different elements to be aware of with this game, and the Q&A was pretty in-depth, so I do want to go over all of the information regarding the game. So first of all, it was noted, why did you switch from making mobile games to PC and console? Obviously, Phantom Blade Zero is a big budget title, and it's coming from a studio that primarily did mobile games in the past. Noting we have relied on mobile games to develop our player community and accumulated the necessary development experiences and resources. However, we hope to pursue the best ways of expression and chase the long-cherished dreams that have been buried for so long. Moreover, from a market perspective, this actually means a shift from focusing mainly on the domestic market, seeking internationalization. Shipping PBZ to mobile devices is indeed an interesting topic. However, games developed with Unreal Engine 5 do not possess this feasibly yet. It was also noted about some differences between Phantom Blade Zero and switching from mobile to PC and console, and also how will the setting differ from other Chinese fantasy-themed games like Black Myth Wukong, Wolong Fallen Dynasty, or Sword and Fairy. Our game is based on Chinese culture, but it is 100% original fictional world, blending a wide range of cool and dark elements. Personally, I've been influenced by various cultures. I grew up in China, received professional design education in the United States, and as a zealot of Japanese anime culture, this nature has allowed me to maintain an open mind perspective at all times. In Phantom Blade Zero, we didn't develop our creation based on any classical Chinese novels, and it is certainly not a style that you've seen before. Instead, we have defined a unique style called Kung Fu Punk, which is basically targeting international audiences. Can you discuss your main inspirations for Phantom Blade Zero? There are many sources of inspiration, including traditional Chinese novels, 70s to 90s Hong Kong films, Japanese manga such as Vagabond, Berserk, and Claymore. The concept of a killer who betrayed his organization being hunted down by former colleagues is somewhat reminiscent of John Wick. In terms of games, Ninja Gaiden, Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, and Nioh have also provided me with a lot of inspiration. How many weapons are you going to include in the final game? A lot of weapons to choose from, and they will be presented with some undisclosed game systems. I'd rather keep this information for myself, I'm sure. That'll come out in due time. Can you talk about the character progression system in Phantom Blade Zero? The game is essentially an action RPG with rich character progression elements integrated with the storyline and gameplay. More detailed information will also be revealed in the future. Our boss fights a focus in the game. How many of them are you planning to have in Phantom Blade Zero? Boss battles are definitely the game's highlight, and they are the reason you develop your skill and character. There are a considerable number of unique and distinctive bosses in the game, but the specific quantity cannot be disclosed yet. Additionally, there are also plenty of secret bosses concealed in the deepest corner of the dungeons. We adopt the most traditional game design approach, avoiding automated mass production. Instead, we meticulously handcraft each intense battle, which I think was one of the point of contentions when I saw the trailer. I'm just like, these battles look incredibly flashy and stylish when you see it in the form of a trailer. How will it actually play out in terms of real-time gameplay? That is what I want to know, because those battles looked really cool in that trailer, but I'm a little bit skeptical in terms of execution in the actual game. So we'll see how that turns out. We meticulously handcraft each intense battle, ensuring that they are thoughtfully designed and tailored to provide players with a challenging and rewarding experience. As far as multiplayer goes, the story cannot be experienced cooperatively. I hope it's purely narrative and immersive journey. We will design multiplayer experiences for some endgame content, so that's what you can expect out of the multiplayer. The main campaign will be a solo experience. Unreal Engine 5 was a big talking point of the game. Unreal Engine 5 is there to enable small teams like us to create large-scale games, or at the very least, significantly reduce the gap between small and large studios. We have a good relationship with Epic China, and they have provided us with a lot of support. With Unreal Engine 5, we can easily achieve stunning visuals without the need for a large tech team to build the rendering of framework from scratch, which is generally the most expensive and high-risk phase in game development. Everyone can just jump to gameplay production. Are you planning to use hardware ray tracing on PS5 and or PC? Yes, we have received great support from AMD and Nvidia. They have provided their own hardware-based ray tracing solutions for both PS5 and PC. For our combat system that emphasizes speed, very variability and smoothness, maintaining a stable frame rate while delivering impressive visual effects is crucial. If everything goes as planned, we intend to offer two modes, 2K at 60 frames per second and 4K at 30 frames per second. Kind of interesting that they're already talking about, you know, performance settings and things like that, but that is their plan right now. Things can change. However, I agree that this is still a compromise. Our team is actively seeking ways to achieve 4K at 60 FPS on PS5, or at least a stable 45 to 50 frames per second. 4K 60 FPS is just something so few games do. You look through, like, the entire catalog of games on PS5, how many of them are 4K 60 FPS, especially with the games that are truly next-generation titles, and doing 4K 60 FPS with ray tracing? Oh, just throw that out the window. Chances are that's not gonna be happening. Continuing with that, you've said you plan to take advantage of the DualSense's haptics and adaptive triggers. Will this apply to the PC version? Yes, we'll do our best to make controller functionality applicable to all versions of the game, and the development only started in earnest a year and a half ago. Is it fair to assume the release is at least 2 years away? Even for the most experienced team, completing a project like this would take several years, not to mention our team is relatively young. We cannot estimate the exact time of our project completion, but we will try to showcase some of the latest achievements during different stages of development. Right there is what you need to take home. I saw some people with the craziest of ideas thinking that this game was gonna come out in 2024. Look, that's why it's hard to get excited for games like this. They're showing off a game like this, but we just went through Lost Soul Aside. We just saw Black Myth Wukong. Black Myth Wukong was revealed in 2020 and is now scheduled for release in summer 2024. If we take that time frame, about 4.5 years, that would bring us to the end of 2027, and really, like, I'm being honest with you guys, that is where you should put an optimistic range of release. Yes, 2027. If you want to be, like, greatly optimistic, maybe you can say 2026, but this 2024, 2025 idea, guys, just throw that out the window. Like, these games take a long time to develop, and, you know, there's a lot of argument on whether or not they should be shown off this early, but hopefully this game just makes smooth development progression, because we've been following LSA for so long. Black Myth Wukong has actually seen, like, 4 years isn't that crazy, and I know to some of you guys 4 years is like, oh my goodness, but, you know, 8 to 10 years is something that we've been seeing regularly in gaming these days in terms of game development time, and in terms of a game being announced and then coming out. Like, 8 years, 8 to 10 is a little bit of a stretch, but 8 years, that's not that unheard of. That's actually relatively common when you talk about it. You know, you have some outliers here and there with, like, the Capcoms of the world revealing a game and having a quick turnaround, but a lot of the times, these games take a long time. Like, 4 to 6 years at the very least has become the standard, and again, 8 years isn't that crazy when it comes to some of these titles. But that'll do it for me. Again, I wanted to go through this Q&A. You can go to WCCF Tech for the full breakdown of said Q&A, but a game that the trailer looked fantastic. It's just how much of that is going to be executed into the final game. How much of that are we going to see in, you know, in due time? We'll talk about it as we hear more, but that'll do it for me. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.